the gamer behind the rose actual play of Werewolf the Forsaken, Blood in the Soil. This will be our first actual game of season 1 of the story. So since we will be getting into actual gameplay, I want to start with a few ground rules about what we'll be doing, content you will see, content you won't see. But before I get into that, just a quick round of introductions, since we're still a new channel and we want everybody to know us. I am David Fuller. I'm going to be the storyteller for this channel, and I'm a freelance writer for Onyx Path as well as another company, which I will share soon. Jeremy, want to introduce yourself, maybe say what character you're playing?
I'm Jeremy. I mostly show up doing streams here on the Onyx Path Twitch. And I'm playing Spooky, the Rahu Bloodtown.
John.
I am John. I'm also fairly new to the streaming stuff, and I am playing James. He is an Araka Ironmaster.
Ender.
Hi there, I'm Ender. Go often by Ender Strayus on the internet, and I am playing Uncle Ben, or any other number of different awful names you can call him. A Elidoth Hunter in Darkness.
And finally, Dennis.
Hello, this is Dennis. I play Jim, a Bone Shadow Kehalith. I also am Jack Quick on the Scion Athens stream. That will be starting up here again, second season here pretty quick, so stay tuned for that, and pleasure to game for y'all.
Absolutely. Okay, so first things first. Games for the foreseeable future on the Gamer Behind the Rose channel will make use of the Monty Cook consenting gaming form. If you're not familiar with it, I suggest that you Google it. It is a free PDF that Monty Cook released last year so that we can make sure all players are covering topics that we are comfortable with. Based on the feedback I gathered from that, this game will not feature any explicitly detailed sex. So if sex happens, we'll do fade black. And you know, we will primetime TV it, we won't HBO it. And there was a specific request to avoid detailed damage to fingernails or eyes. I have no problem with that. I think we've all hurt our fingernails or eyes. It's not pleasant. But other than that, most other things are on the table. Before I start, if you enjoy what we're doing here, please give us a follow. If you would like to get to know these people, get to know me, or influence this game in terrible, terrible ways, please consider jumping over to the Gamer Behind the Rose Patreon, where at different tiers you can join our Discords and you can edit the game, giving me suggestions on things to do. So, with that in mind, and keeping in mind that no one on the consent form ruled out cannibalism, we joined 4 members of the pack as they are in the middle of a sacred hunt. They have followed a Shrizaku, which for those of you that don't know what that is, it is a locust host. They followed a Shrizaku all the way from Strawberry Point over to the campgrounds at Sugar Camp Hollow. When we joined them, they currently have the element of surprise. They are at the entrance to this campsite, which I looked up online, is down in a valley. So a few tactical choices. I understand that you're going to bring the old dog, the old hound. You're gonna have him. What else or who else from the pack would you have brought on this hunt? Keeping in mind that you are down a few members because we are down a few players today.
I would suggest in that case that we'll go ahead and also bring the younger dog as well. I'm of course bonded to the old dog, but the younger one does still follow what the old one does on occasion, so should be a good training session.
Good deal. Anyone else want to bring anybody special?
I'm good.
Okay. Thank you for not bringing your mage. Okay. One sec. Hello to Gehenna Gaming. Great people. Okay, so would you like to approach from the spirit or the physical?
I think personally for me, physical.
Okay.
Do we know if there's a locus in this area?
There is a small locust. It is slightly off from the main campsite. Basically, this goes down into a valley. There are campgrounds and shelters to the left and right of a road that works through the valley, and then it leads into a wooded area. There is a locust in the wooded area.
I'm assuming physical's the way to go for now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're probably going to approach from the wooded area anyway, so there's no point in spending the extra essence to come from the shadow if we're going to have to approach from that side of physical in any case.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, any other special prep or notes before I dive in?
Let's do this.
Who led the Sacred Hunt? Because it affects what benefit you currently have.
If it's a host, it should be the old man.
Okay. And can you remind people what the benefit of your tribe leading the Sacred Hunt does?
Yep, getting to it right now, actually. Hold on a second. Okay. Have to flip over to where that is in the book. So. There it is. Okay, so the Hunter in Darkness Sacred Hunt will grant the characters the ability to sense the state of the gauntlet in your presence. You're constantly aware of its current strength, if it has been increased or decreased compared to its normal strength. If the hunt's prey is responsible, then you know this. You can also sense any other breaches in reality that your prey has moved through in the last lunar month. Gateways to places and realms other than the shadow. In addition to the normal effects.
Great. So, you guys can see that. In the forest, you have found the loci. You have found no signs that your prey has crossed over. So approaching physical still seems the safe way to go. You do notice up ahead campfires on the outskirts of the forest. And you can see some people gathered around said campfire. They don't seem to be talking. Can you remind me, do werewolves in all forms have really cool senses, or only when you're in animal forms?
They have them in all forms, but they're muted in human.
Fair enough. So from this distance, cloaked in the shadows, you can smell a lot of blood and excrement.
Since we've begun to approach, then we start smelling that. I'm going to shift up to from Hishu to Dalu, so over to near human, so that we get a better chance of smelling things a little bit better, getting a better sense of what's.
Okay. So you want to get a little closer. Go ahead and give me the first check of the season. Give me a dexterity plus stealth check, just to not alert the happy campers that you are getting a little closer to.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to give them negatives. They are distracted for reasons. You are confident that you can get closer without being noticed. Okay, so you get it closer. You see that there are 2 very nice campers. And everybody else can see this, but you get to see the details. You can see there's 2 very nice campers on the other side of this clearing where the fire is. Both of their doors are just wide open. One of them has blood and what you're from a farm is entrails trailing down the steps. Out of the other door, a man and a woman come out. They seem to be in a kind of a haze. If it wasn't for the blood smeared all over their mouths and shirt, you would assume they were just drunk. They're just kind of listing around. And you can see that they join 4 others for a total of 6. Just looks like yuppie glampers, passing around chunks of people.
Lovely.
Well then, in which case I will
As you do.
backtrack to our to our safe spot so that we can talk about what was just seen there, and then make a plan.
Okay, plan.
All right. So there are several campers that are what it smells like is they're eating people. So they must be influenced at some point by this host, by our prey. So we need to still find it. And in addition, we need to take care of this problem before it becomes worse. James, you're very good at sneaking around, so I think we do need to at least get 1 or 2 of us to come from another angle so that we can get a good jump on them.
Agreed.
They are fairly distracted at the moment, so they won't see us coming. Anyone else have any thoughts on what they'd like to do to assist?
Can I kill him?
That's unfortunately likely going to be necessary, so yes.
Okay. Charge?
A distraction would be warranted, if only to draw out the Shizaku from its hiding spot.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do
Is
that.
there any obvious place it might be hiding other than in the campers?
Give me a perception check. Wits composure, and then any bonuses that you have.
It's +1 if you're in Hishu.
I'll just use Urshel for this because there's really no reason not to, and it's probably what I'm going to fight in until I go Garu anyway.
Yeah, which is +3. I am also, let me just shift into Urshel.
4 successes.
Okay. You think you might see a human outline, like laying low, watching from the back of one of the RV tops.
Hey guys, what's that on the RV?
He points it out. You guys can all see it. It's this thin. You'd guess. I mean, it's not standing up. You'd guess it's about 7.5 feet tall. Humanoid shape, with the tatterings of clothing. The head of a locust, but the size of a human head. And arms that are halfway transformed between human arms and insect legs. And it's just perched. And it's watching the humans feed.
Alright. I would charge the
As
people,
you do.
and you take out the locust.
So, John, are you going to try to stealth around the back?
Yeah, I am also going to shift into Urshel and kind of shift around behind them, and then come up from the other direction when a distraction has started.
All right.
And then
my cat.
I also want to, right as things are starting, go ahead and so we have our hunter's aspects, and I would like to attempt to place that my hunter's aspect on the Trizaku.
Okay. Can you explain the mechanics of that for me and the audience?
Yes, or Jeremy can if he knows it a little bit better than I do.
Okay. So the dice pool for this is the attribute is a power attribute that the storyteller deems appropriate, along with a skill the storyteller deems appropriate, and whatever your auspice's renown is. That then lays a condition upon your prey, reflecting the nature of your auspice, which I do not remember what the Elodoth one is offhand. If you could explain that.
Okay. I'm open to suggestions on pools.
Okay. Let's see here. So, as far as the power attribute in this case, I'm going to use. I'm gonna call for. Let's see here. Presence. I'm going to try and draw its attention, and then, as far as a skill, I'm actually going to attempt for athletics because I'm going to use my bow to draw and fire towards it. And then, of course, my purity is the renown for the, or is it? No, actually, sorry. Haha. It would be honor for Eldoth.
Okay.
And
what does he roll?
That would be
composure power stat. So
okay.
Rank if it's got it.
And
so gonna make your roll. What you got?
Yep. I'm making my roll now. Three successes.
Okay, you get enough. What does your hunter's condition do to him?
It'll be the isolated condition.
Okay.
Which will prevent them from being able to benefit from any sort of. Hold on a second. I have to get back to that part. Let's see here. They cannot benefit from or participate in teamwork roles. Additionally, the character cannot take advantage of the defense reduction for multiple attackers. Every enemy he faces has access to its full defense, no matter how many times it's been attacked in a turn.
And your goal was to get its attention?
Yes. So it would be Uncle Ben here, and the Dalu would pull back the bow, hold it for a second, and with a whistle, which will be the start of the charging, the finishing the sneaking up from behind, and for the dogs to begin barking and getting its attention further. We'll release the bow to get the arrow to zoom and impact onto the camper right about where it is.
Fantastic. So that does get its attention. So go ahead and do initiative. It does not know John's there, but it knows it is in danger.
One thing I would have liked to have done while he was doing that was to use a gift.
Yes.
Called Rebuild's Loom.
And what's that do? You are muted. Storyteller brought to you by Duncan.
Let's me get information about the surroundings. Specifically, threats is what I want to get here.
Okay. Do you have to spend an essence and make a roll for that?
I have to spend 5 essence.
Oh.
And so it's going to take me 15 seconds to do this.
Okay, so I'm okay saying you would have done that before you start the fight. So go ahead and spend your 5 essence. And what information do you want? More specifically, what does it give?
It just gives information about any threats in the area in the next 24 hours. Closer is better. So if there's another threat hiding here, read the world's loom. I got 4 successes. Should give me information about what it might
Cool.
be.
The threats in the area that are not you and your pack is Mr. Locust Man and those 6 glampers.
Cool.
Those are the threats. There's no hidden threats. There's no traps. Nothing like that.
Perfect.
Cool. And then you could have conveyed that to them right as they start. Cool. So go ahead and roll initiative. Initiative is just 1 die and then add your initiative mod, unless you have some sort of special thing for your initiative. Jeremy, what you got?
I have an 8.
Okay. John, what do you have?
12.
Uh-huh. Okay. Ender, what do you have?
13.
Nice. And Dennis, where you at?
16.
Woo-hoo. Okay. So, topping it is Dennis. What do you want to do?
I will charge one of the humans.
Okay, cool. They are just getting up and turning around. They don't seem to have any sort of armor on, unless you consider American Eagle clothing armor. So go ahead and take a swing at one of them. We'll call it Human 1. They're all grouped together.
Let me just get my pool here really quick.
There. What is the defense of the camper?
2. Thank you. The defense of all the humans is 2. They are in the early stages of transformation, but are still much more human than monster.
Nope. I swing and a miss.
Well, it knows you're there.
I'll take a dramatic failure on that for the beat.
You got a dramatic failure?
I will take one for the beat.
Fantastic. So for those that may be wondering how I'm keeping track of beats, because I want to make this enjoyable cinematic, I'm going to be taking some time after gameplay to ask the players what beats they feel they earned. And we'll have that discussion afterwards. If you back at the right tier on my Patreon, you get to see their character sheets as they evolve them. So, okay. Dramatic failure on that. Nice. And what form were you in?
Herschel.
Okay, so big human.
Big wolf.
Big wolf. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say you jumped in and you were diving at one and you landed on a torso and slid in the visceral and fell prone.
Oh.
So you're just like blood. Okay. The glampers have next initiative. They rolled a 10. So,
Wasn't
okay.
Ender on a 13?
No. They rolled a 10. They had a mod of 4. They rolled a 10 on the die. So, the glampers, 3 of them are going to attack the wolf that's at their feet. 3 of them are going to try to attack Ender. I'm going to give them a -1 because they're working their way towards your location. So you are prone next to them. They don't have a great pool, but I do not believe you get your defense while prone. 2 brawl attacks, right?
I'll be honest, I don't have the prone rules memorized. I wasn't expecting it to come up this early.
Range attacks are at -2, melee attacks are at a +2.
Okay. Oh, but he does get his defense. Okay,
Correct.
so what's your defense?
Would have been 8, so 6.
They will take their chance die, followed by 1 die, followed by 2 die. No, but it wasn't a 1. No. Okay. Do you have any armor?
Nope.
Okay. So what happens is the first one just tries to tosses like an arm at you. Does nothing. The second one tries to give you like a little kick and almost slips themselves. The third one though, actually takes time to kind of ground themselves and gives you a firm kick in the side. Take 1 bashing.
This is why you don't leave your viscera laying around.
True.
It's not safe. OSHA violations all over.
Super
Alright, so-
unsanitary.
Oh, entirely.
So Ender, what is your defense?
Unfortunately, my defense is only a 4 at the moment.
Okay. Okay, so 3 of them are charging at you. I'm going to give them a -1 and you're -4. So the first one's at a chance to die, the second one's at a chance to die, the third one gets a die. Okay, one trips on a log on the way to you and makes themselves prone. Oh snap. The second one with a chance die manages to they're stumbling and they manage to do a stumbling punch. Do you have any armor on?
Yes, I do have armor. Let's see here. My armor at the moment. It's a 1-3 armor, so whatever the rating scales for that is.
Reduces by 1.
Yeah, reduces by 1.
And
Which that's all they got.
Yep.
So they punch your armor. It's
Okay.
and then you downgrade bullets to bashing 3 damage.
Yep.
That's what that is.
And the third one doesn't stumble or anything. It just you've seen him coming a mile away, so you back away.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now it is Ender with a 13. You have 3 targets right in front of you.
Okay. Well, problematic as always. So I will go ahead and drop the bow.
Okay.
I will, because I have pack kin, I can just tell the old dog to get him, boys. And then I'm going to sidle up on the one that is trying to punch me, and I'm going to try and punch back.
Okay. Cool.
Because I don't need the bow to smack someone in the face.
Okay.
So that'd be strength plus brawl.
Strength plus brawl minus their defense of 2.
Okay.
And then what maneuver is the dog doing for you?
At the moment, the dog is just going to attack on its own, and the younger one should.
I'll roll for it on your initiative.
Yeah.
I've got both of the stats.
But yeah, we take this one down, and then I will deal with the rest of that later.
Okay. How many successes did you get on punching human number 4?
Wow. Okay. 3 successes.
Okay. That's a good hit. You bloody his nose, something good. Okay, and then I will check your dog. Do you want the dog to attack the same one, or do you want the dogs to divide up on targets?
The idea in this case is I'm being a distraction. This Rizaku doesn't realize that he's about to get jumped and have him isolating. So the point of the dog was to go after the Rizaku with the assistance of the one who's going to jump from out of nowhere.
Okay, cool. So those dogs will spend this whole turn running around the side.
Yep.
They'll get to the camper that the Shiraz is still on because he hasn't taken his turn yet. Cool. Okay, so John, Shiraz has not moved yet, and you are right behind him.
Okay, is it?
Yeah.
Is he still lying prone?
he was never prone. He was crouching.
Okay, so he is not prone at the moment. So he's up on top of that camper. I am going to go ahead and just use an ability that I can only do once a session. I'm going to use Closer Than You Think and just be right up on him all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Okay.
And I am going to try and just take a good old bite out of him.
Use your hidden blade. Okay.
What's his defense?
He did not know you were there.
Oh, that's true.
So on this one attack, you will not subtract his defense.
That's 2 successes.
Okay.
And I am in Urshel, so I have +2 damage.
Okay. So I believe that rolls as 4 damage.
Yep.
Okay. So the first 2 damage is tearing through his like insectoid natural armor. Then the next 2 damage gets through. And is that lethal or ag?
That is lethal.
Okay. Next, make me a stamina survival check.
What is my survival? Okay, that's not good odds. 1 success. Oh, hold on. That's a 10. 2 successes.
So you manage to let your bite go before its blood that just tastes wrong gets into your throat.
Well, that's good.
So, okay. It is its turn. So what's your defense, John?
5.
Okay. Okay. That plus... Okay. Okay. Do you have any armor?
I do not. Not in
Okay.
this form.
Okay. He turns around, still bent over, insect-like, and just like bites you with its locust mouth. Take 2 lethal,
Ow.
and you are moderately poisoned.
I don't know what that means.
The moderate poison condition, you will take a bashing every turn in combat.
Oh. All right, then.
I mean, at this point, it's just negating your regeneration.
That's the point of it, is you don't have regeneration for this. Unless you want to go Grawl and be dumb for a couple of turns.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was its attack. For its move, it leaps to the edge of the forest. Like you see its bent up legs like spring, and it leaps over Dennis. It leaps over the glampers, and it's staring at Ender.
Oh, that was expected.
All right, cool. Then we are on to Jeremy.
That sounded like the locust got within claw distance.
It is within claw distance of you. It is true.
Okay.
Its defense is 5.
All right. So Spooky's just going to pounce on him in Urshel. I'm going to spend a willpower for this, both for the bonus dice and for something that will come up in a moment. And I'm going to spend an essence for my full move gift, which gives me 8 again on brawl and weaponry checks.
Awesome.
Okay. 9 successes.
Okay.
Spooky has a very good attack pool. I'm going to use claws instead of bite because it apparently has acid for blood.
Yep.
So for a total of 10 lethal.
Okay.
And then because I spent the willpower, That triggers embodiment of the firstborn, because I look like a tiny version of Destroyer Wolf. So anyone who tries to attack me gets the shaking condition.
Okay. Does that bite ignore armor?
It does not. He's soaking.
Okay, so your 10 becomes 8, but he is hurting. You manage to bite like right at the top of his chest plate, which is part of his body, and begin tearing it apart. It actually gives your relatively young Uratha mind an idea for a particular tactic you can maybe spend XP on later. But you begin tearing his chest piece off, and like green, you're because you did claw instead of mouth, you're able to back off, but like green poisonous blood is just gushing out, and he's doing these insect screeches. He is not dead, but he is not long for this world. Okay, so back to the top. Dennis.
Well, I'm mad. So I'm going to get up.
Okay.
I'm going to spend the essence to shift to Garu reflexively.
Okay.
And I'd like to down and dirty combat on the humans that are around me that make me angry.
I am absolutely fine with that. There are 3 humans. Their defense is 2. Get me 3 successes, and we will say you take them out.
I'm going to spend the willpower on that. That's an exceptional, so I'll get my willpower back.
Yeah. Okay, tell me how you shred them.
I'm not an elegant fighter exactly. It's kind of just flailing with claws and teeth and angry wolf noises everywhere, and now there's more viscera that somebody's going to have to clean up, and it's not mine.
Okay, fair. Okay. Okay, the 3 Glimpers that are still standing are going to focus on you, Ender. What you said your defense was 4? 4. Okay, and they don't get the additional negative now. So there's chance die, 1 die, and 2 die. Okay. Okay. You are ducking and dodging. You're an old pro at this. You could take on 10 of them. Probably not. But you can certainly seem confident while you fight 3.
Right. Keeping their attention. Doing my job.
Ender, your turn.
Okay. In this case, the Trisaku is right here. Currently getting sliced and eviscerated by a Spooky right there. And I got these 3 in front of me here. So we're at the point where this I can't let this be. So I will unfortunately have to go to Garu. So I'll spend the essence and make that happen.
Awesome.
And I'd like to declare the same thing as Dennis did, and actually
exact same roll. -2 for their defense. Get me 3 successes.
Will do. We'll try to. That was a 10 there. And 3 successes.
Cool. How do you do it?
I will, grow to extremely large size compared to these things. Grab the first one by the throat, bash it into the other ones, rip that one's throat out with the claws, and then for the last one, it's going to make a fun time with a tree in terms of getting beaten and then ripped apart.
Nice. Okay, very good. So your dogs. Your dogs could charge at the locust. You want them to?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. He has already been attacked once this initiative. Okay. So we'll start with the young dog. Heart of a champion. Does not bite. He tried. Tried so hard.
Snapping at the heels.
and got so far, but in the end, it
Didn't
really
even matter.
It's true. Okay, so the old hound dog jumps up on the back of the locust and like gets underneath the armor and starts ripping at tendons, and the head starts going this way, and the dog like spits out the nasty bits, and the thing falls down. Now, does anybody here have an occult spec in host?
I, in fact, do.
So
Okay.
do I.
Okay.
Excellent.
You guys can make an int occult check with your spec.
Two successes.
No.
No, okay, that's fine. Ender, you realize that what's going to happen over the next 3 seconds is between dozens and hundreds of locusts are about to swarm out of that husk. And while you can, for the purpose of the Sacred Hunt, confidently say you've defeated the enemy at this moment, if one of those locusts gets away, it will remember you and it will reform in another host. And if this is part of a bigger colony, it will let the colony know about you. This is just something to be aware of.
And brief question. So, as a reminder, did they have a fire going here in the?
Did have a campfire, not very
Okay.
far from here,
That's
like-
good to know.
like 10 feet away.
Okay.
So you can speak first tongue in broken words when you're in Garu.
Right. I'm gonna.
So what message do you try to send to the pack?
Let's see here. Broken words very quickly. Put body fire. Kill anything that comes out of it.
Okay, sure. So all of you here in first tongue, that command. John?
Yeah, I would say probably that I am going to go get some fire.
No, there's a campfire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to go collect something from the campfire that I can use to take over there and try to light him on fire with.
Sure. Do a Dex Athletics check to get a burning log in your mouth without burning your snoot.
My poor snoot.
Or snoot.
3 successes.
Okay. You have a log. You can go over there. You can start burning the body.
That's what I'm doing.
At this point, I will exit combat. Between all of you gathering around to pay attention, you do see some locusts begin to come out, and you easily smash them with your claw, step on them. And this whole thing, like first it slumps down like a puppet that's had its like strings cut. And then its body like wiggles in waves as locusts try to get out. And you hear hundreds of tiny little shrieks as James goes and burns the body. And it is defeated. You guys have successfully completed your Sacred Hunt. What do you do with the bodies?
That is a very good question.
I mean, there's always more fire.
I'd take them back to the farm for growth purposes.
Both are viable options.
I
They're,
mean,
a
lots
little,
of animals will eat just about anything.
they're still a little fresh, so no.
Well, these were campers, so we're going to need to do something about the fact that people are going to come looking later, and I'm going to end up shifting out of Garu back over to Dalu for this.
I can pretend to be a bear.
He could, in fact, pretend to be a bear and destroy and rough things up. And I need to retrieve my arrow for one, so I'm going to do that. But we should also make it look like we weren't involved.
I'm not that
Okay.
good at pretending to be a bear.
So
Animal attack. Yeah.
does Spooky have a gift to take on a bear form?
No, but he can just go with his instincts and cause some large animal damage.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that. You retrieve your arrow. That's not a big deal. Does anybody else wish to do anything else to the scene?
I want to drag off at least one because the bear ate him.
That's easy enough to do.
I'd also like for us to take one of the dead locusts for us to offer up as proof of our protection of our territory to the totem.
Okay, cool. That will make your totem happy. Okay. So, with that, if this was a movie, opening credits would roll. We rejoin the pack back at their farm. It is a couple weeks later. I'll say the time is just around the end of planting season. So summer hasn't gotten hot yet. Some of the stragglers for college haven't come home yet, which explains the absence of some of the pack members today. And it is a nice sunny day on Strawberry Fields Farm. Strawberry Fields is a very large farm just west of Strawberry Point, Iowa, a small town in the northeast quadrant of Iowa. It is an area known for some of the country's largest strawberries. And so out of tradition, this farm has always kept at least a few acres devoted to strawberries. And it always leaves the ground this lovely red color when those get harvested. The farmland stretches out so large and has grown over so many generations that on this land are multiple smaller farmhouses and farm-related buildings. The parts that aren't devoted to strawberries are devoted to corn, with a small area where some cows are kept. There is one bull that is actually officially a member of the pack. He is there for breeding purposes. The family hasn't dived fully on into dairy or beef, but has used their surprisingly healthy bull. It's a fun thing when you bind them to a spirit to produce very healthy calves that are then sold off to nearby dairy farms and beef farms. There is, in the center of it, the original farmhouse. This thing is the classic farmhouse you have seen in rural horror movies, except to you in this moment, because it's your home, it doesn't look spooky. It is massive. You keep it pristine. Even though it's over 100 years old, none of the paint is peeling. The porch swing, as soon as it gets slightly creaky, gets fixed. And because it's such a nice day, celebrating successful planting, there's picnic tables laid out, and the whole pack, minus like the bull and technically the spirits, is gathered around. And the gangrel. The gangrel's not here, but he's buried under the ground where you're eating. So he's there in spirit. Maybe pour something out for him.
I will pour out one of the campers for him.
Just get a camper arm and just sort of troop it over the...
This is a couple weeks later. That's not fresh, but you totally let him have some fresh blood when he got back. He appreciated it. Just a football's throws away from the front yard of the farmhouse is a pond. It is your territory's loci. the local mage that is part of your pack, who tells everybody to call him the Fisher. He's a kindly middle-aged man, and he's just finishing up getting some fish to toss on, the fire, and he's like, "Oh, I'm coming." Yeah. Yeah, it's just a beautiful day. As you are all sitting down, children that aren't old enough yet to be in the know, definitely not in the pack, they're running around chasing each other. The parents, some of which are in the pack, some aren't, are trying to gather them up. Old Ma, one of the oldest ones, the humans that's not in the pack but is in the know. She comes out. She's arguing with one of the humans that is part of your pack, going, "Hey, Billy, did you mess with the computer?" "No, Ma, I didn't mess with the computer. Why? What's going on? I swear I had my recipes. I had my recipes saved on the computer. Now I can't find them." It's like, "Ma, you sure you hit save? I don't know how this technology works. That's what I have the young ones like you for. Ma, after lunch I'll find your recipes. I'm sure they're there. Or if not, I'm sure they're backed up on the cloud." For a split second, the kind old woman actually looks up at the partially cloudy sky, realizes that's impossible, and then proceeds to come forward to join everybody for lunch. Everybody is here except for two of your packmates. The one Iron Master was called into town, where he occasionally meets with his hobby clique. They had a rare vehicle come in, something classic car, once in a lifetime chance to fix this thing, and he couldn't pass it up. And the other packmate had to wrap up some things at college, but she should be back next week. Otherwise, everyone's here. You can see in the spirit, the terror bird is walking around, going to small farm spirits and giving them the evil eye. The little rank 1 farm spirits are fleeing like little chicken spirits, and little seed spirits are running away. The book spirit is sitting, just flipping through its own pages, not too far from all of you. And yeah, your pack's just there. What sort of things do you do on your normal day when you're not killing things and hanging out with the family?
Not kill people. Well, so at least for Uncle Ben, when he's not sitting out on the porch with the shotgun nearby, his bow, and the 2 dogs, inside, mostly be checking on status of the farm, what people have talked about as far as what maintenance needs to be done, so we can help get things managed from that perspective. He's not the de facto actual runner of the farm, but he kind of helps guide people, gives them advice on what to look for, things to look at. But since he's just been around, he only helps as people need him to. So in this particular case, probably at the table, eating at the moment, but or otherwise at a nearby chair, either reading or outside.
Yep. The old hound's right next to you, so you can get some scritches. The young dog is still eager, doesn't realize that you're not going to give it a scrap just because it jumps up and down and looks cute. So John, what do you do on a normal day on the farm like this?
So right now, probably because there's not any big responsibilities, I'm just keeping an eye out on the farm sort of secondarily, and then probably like sitting out on a chair on the porch, scrolling through like job openings, because I am currently trying to find some sort of steady income.
It's fair. There are quite a few openings that require a bit of a drive.
Well, that's no surprise.
Yeah, it's pretty common for people in Iowa to drive a very long ways to go into the big cities in order to do work. But if you're wanting to stay closer at the nearby Strawberry Point, there is a business that could use a overnight like inventory stocker, reshelver. It's the local Hy-Vee. Could use an overnight restocker. There's a Casey's and a Come and Go that are at the Strawberry Field town intersection.
Inevitably right across the street from each other.
Kitty corner from each other. And then there's the mechanics garage where your Packmate is right now. And then a bar.
Yep.
So both the Come and Go and the Casey's are hiring for overnight clerks. And there is a farmers co-op that could use a customer service person. Basically, answer the phone. The hours are 8 to 4. You basically take calls and you file them off to the people that they need to go to. So 3 of them open you up to Spooky World of Darkness nighttime stuff, and one of them doesn't conflict with being a werewolf. I will let you choose which one you want to prefer. You can think on it.
It's true. He's going to give it some thought before applying for anything.
Fair. Jeremy, what are you doing at a normal time like this, big spooky warrior?
Yeah, not that big. At this point, probably having a go at being a barn cat. I mean, not literally a cat, but just finding small things to hunt and play with.
Okay. That's fine. Well, you are looking around the large barn that's nearby. You run into the farm cat. That is part of the pack. You're not sure how old this cat is, but it is gnarly and mean. Like, not to the point where you guys have ever had to fight it, but it can smell what you are, and because it's in the pack, it knows what you are, and you don't think it rightly cares.
I gnarly and mean back at it.
Right? And then it kind of shrugs, maybe out of respect for your gnarly and meanness. And it goes over and it paws at some hay, and it picks up a dead rat and drops it for you.
I am slightly offended that it thinks I need help hunting. We'll go try and find a live rat.
Okay. It seems to give you the cat equivalent of a shrug as you go off to find something else. I will get back to you. Dennis, what are you doing?
Jim, by trade, is an urban planner who goes into the big city to do things when he has to. Right now, he is working on a proposal to the city council to change some traffic intersections in accordance with a traffic spirit that has big ideas on how traffic should flow in the city. And while Jim doesn't quite agree with all of them, because spirit ideas on how the mortal world should work are at best taken with a grain of salt, paying chimnage is a thing, and some of the ideas are inoffensive enough that he's willing to work with it to potentially gain favor later.
That traffic spirit is going places. Yeah, so you probably have like your laptop open at the picnic table working on the plans. Cool. So you and Uncle Ben and James, you will notice coming up the dirt road that is it's like a mile away, but there's a vehicle coming up the dirt road that is actually in very good condition. This is not a farmer's vehicle. You're looking at it, you're like, is that a Lincoln Continental? Like, do they know what these roads are made out of? I don't. What? And almost everybody that's out like at the picnic part are all like, all looking at it. So as it comes up, let me get notes for it. Okay. Okay. The car pulls up to your all-purpose parking area, which actually just winds down. There's a point where the pathway from the farm meets the barn, then winds down, and then there's an area that you guys have laid out like white gravel. And that's where there's a dozen trucks and like one of the smaller tractors that's just parked there. And so they go and they park there. And the bottom of their nice car is now covered in dirt. And the license plate says it's from Polk County. Polk County, that's ways away. That's where the capital of the state is. They got no business out here. And all the spirits are all like the terror bird. Those that could see across, see the terror bird like go up to approximately where this car is and just like. Two people in suits get out of the car, a man and a woman. And they are wearing dress shoes. And they look completely out of place. And they come walking up. You guys see Terror Bird like just stand right behind them, like holding back a peck. And like those of you that could see him are like, and they come walking. Jeremy, you can see the thing in the rose is like sticking the side of its head out. Or actually, no, that was Dennis's. Dennis, you could see it's sticking its head out of like the nearby building, like, and just watching them. The corn hasn't grown high enough yet for it to hide. And so they're coming up and they're like, the man says, "Good day, everyone. Looks like you're having a lovely lunch here. Sorry to interrupt. My associate and I here represent Fresh Start. Dennis, you've been working in the city. Fresh Start is a property management company that has been facilitating the purchase of many farms across the state to sell them to either other farms or to turn them into housing or entertainment. And so you instantly know who these people are. Also, some of the scattered humans also recognize it. Like we were in the area talking to one of your neighbors. Did you know that the Smiths are thinking about retiring?
Did we?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we aware of that?
You know that old man Smith has been talking about retiring for as long as you have known him. And as long as you have known him, he has been Old Man Smith. And other than his hair going from salt and pepper to gray to white to thinning white, otherwise he hasn't changed. He's always just been Old Man Smith, and he's always talked about retiring. And that has been at least 20 years of him saying that he's going to retire. And so, yeah, you knew that. Like, so we were talking to Old Man Smith, your neighbor down south. He's thinking about selling the farm, and we figured, being in the area, might as well visit his neighbors, see what you're up to, see what your plans are. Ma goes, our plans are to spend time with our family. I thank you very kindly. He's like, of course, ma'am. We won't take much of your time.
Unfortunately for you, we are in the middle of having a wonderful family gathering. We try not to talk business or any possibility of what we might do for this farm while we are enjoying our family time. I think my colleagues can agree with that here and my family.
Tell you what, though, in the name of hospitality, if he goes and puts it on the market, if you want to send us something, we'd be happy to take a look at it and think about maybe acquiring some land then. But this afternoon, we're just going to have a nice meal.
Absolutely. And he pulls out a business card and starts approaching you. You guys didn't realize one of the little girls was right next to the lady. Maybe. And James is thinking to himself, got to keep an eye on that one as a potential Araka. Just seemed to appear out of nowhere next to the lady.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go up, kind of sidle up to the girl.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna be like, Susan, you should probably go out in the house.
But I was gonna tell the lady something. And the lady looks at it, goes, Susan, lovely name. Hi. What did you want to tell me? You're dressed funny.
What are they? They're just all wearing suits?
They're wearing suits. And it's late spring in the farm.
Yeah.
And so the lady goes, I guess I am. And then Susan looks up at you and then goes and skitters off. The man does give Uncle Ben, since you seem to be the male authority, yay sexism, gives you his Mr. card with the website, email, all that good stuff, and says, well, get out of your hair and enjoy your family time. Hope to hear from you. And the two of them go and get in their completely out of place vehicle, which has difficulty just getting traction in the drive.
I will, of course, say as soon as they're back in the car, somebody grab those license plate numbers. Also, hand off the card to Jim. We need to look into what they're trying to do around here.
I'm just gonna be like, I already took a picture of that car.
Good.
From on the porch.
And Spooky was able to watch like the end of this exchange from the barn.
And then
I'm going to talk to my sneaky spirit. I'm going to have it follow it out to the main road once it gets off our property. Then I'm going to see. I don't really care if it succeeds or not, but I'm going to have it try to sabotage the transmission.
Okay. Let me double check what Numina I gave that one. Okay. So the people that could see spirits, you see the person in the rose, who you would know his ban is he can't willingly let people see his full form. So he's skittering from like when you wave him over, he goes from behind a corner to being like underneath like a picnic table. And is just like bouncing from shadow to shadow. He manages to, because they're not getting great traction. You see that he manages to get up into a wheel well and goes off with them. So you guys, it takes like 10 minutes, and comes back and goes, like, he whispers from you from below the pick table, goes, they're gone. I couldn't get the transmission, but I think the man's gonna have a really bad headache later.
Oh?
I was hungry. I don't have any place to hide yet. It's very exhausting.
Fair.
I'm gonna go hide. And he like zooms into the barn.
So we will, of course, apologize to Ma for the interruption, since this is, her time with the entirety of the family, and they, of course, interrupted us. And then when everything concludes, we'll try and collect those that are the pack specifically
Okay.
to discuss what just happened and what we are going to do about it.
Yep. So, and I apologize I didn't give it to you in the moment, but I intended to give the 3 people that were closer to them a empathy check, a wits empathy check. And let me know how you do.
Sure thing.
And I could just say that you think on this, and when you get together as the pack, you realize what you noticed.
I got a failure on that. I will upgrade it to a dramatic failure. I completely misread the situation.
You misread it. I'll tell you how you misread it in a second.
I also got a failure on that, but I will not be upgrading that to a dramatic failure in this instance.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
I'm glad one of you did. Okay. John, you take them at face value. You think that they're just, they don't care about farm folk. They're just here to make money buying land.
Makes sense.
Dennis, you can't put your finger on it. They're up to something. They've got something sinister planned.
Dramatic failure, but you might be the most right.
You just can't figure it out.
Well, this is why I sent the spirit to dispatch them.
Ender, when they mentioned your neighbor, there was something, you really felt that he was lying when he said, it wasn't necessarily that he was lying, but he was being not very truthful when mentioning, the neighbor's planning on selling. But you do trust he talked to the neighbor. You just don't think the neighbor talked to him about selling.
Right then.
So
Okay.
you get back together.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
The bull's looking over a fence, listening intently.
And this will be out in a nice little spot where everybody can gather. So, since those city folk decided it was a good time to saddle up on our area, it's important for us to do what is important and protect the territory, protect the farm, also our friends and neighbors, because even though they are not in our territory, they are bordering our territory. Like, as we can all agree on that, right?
So we should kill them.
That's a little extreme, Spooky.
Torture them.
Also a little extreme.
Stare at them till they go away.
I do think that staring at them, yes, would definitely do some of what we want, which is make them uncomfortable.
I can do that.
If they next come back with your presence, I'm sure they would be most uncomfortable. In either case, we need to find out more about what their plans are in the area. This is a opportune time for us to check in on Old Smith and see what actually happened over there at the farm, and see who else has been talking to them, because any potential threat to us here because of their meddling will have potential consequences for us later. So I think we should definitely look into it and we should start with checking in with our neighbors. Any thoughts and opinions?
I'd like to use a gift and see if I can get more insight into
Okay.
this.
You're back at full essence. This is a couple weeks later. So.
Yep. I will read the World Loom again. Since it's in pack territory, it only cost me 3 essence this time around.
Nice.
And let me grab my pool really quick.
Gonna brain lick the universe.
That sounds like it'd be a little bit like gelatin.
Mm-hmm.
Universe is really big.
Yeah, it's a lot to lick. There's some things out there that will lick you back.
All right, rolled a 7 on that one.
Oh, damn. Okay, so does that just tell you
Take informed.
Upcoming? Yeah, take informed. Does that just tell you about upcoming danger, or does it tell you other things?
So you have a mute there, Dennis.
I can't have the book up and have the program up to unmute it.
Pull it up. Por favor.
Yeah, I can ask a question.
Don't you get the opportunity to choose a topic, essentially, that you can ask for insight on?
Yes.
And then you got the exceptional, so it's 2 topics.
Cool.
So I will take conflict.
Okay.
Threat.
Okay.
And it's generally within the near future. Anything past 24 hours can be a bit vague.
Okay. The near future conflict. Okay. I'll give you that one last. But in the past 24 hours conflict, you do sense that you're going to have some sort of conflict with your neighbors. You can't tell if it's a fist fight, if it's just my lawyer will see your lawyer. You know, you're building up to a conflict with your neighbors. And threats. You don't sense any true, within the next 24 hours, immediate threats, like genuine threats. The universe does not, because you guys are cool, the universe does not feel like the things that David has planned are a threat to you within the next 24 hours. You sense that a serious threat is coming. You are not sure how far away it is because it seems to be a ways in the future. But something is coming.
Is it winter?
Eventually, but
I mean, winter's on our side, though.
yeah.
This is true.
And it's around the point that you realize what the immediate conflict is, that the other pack members noticed that the cat did not join your pack huddle. And the immediate conflict is the cat is going to get attacked by something that is not going to be a serious threat to it. And at that point, all of you hear the cat making this like a ways away. If you guys are over by like a fenced-in area with the bull and the picnic's back that way, it's that way.
Spooky will go investigate.
Okay. So Spooky goes, runs off.
James, go with them
Cool.
for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I would go anyway.
So you guys come across the cat is being attacked by 4 rats that seem to be working in like unison with each other.
I give it a cocky grin and help defeat the rats.
Okay.
Yep.
While while you guys are helping defeat the rats, Uncle Ben and Dennis, what's your character's name?
Jim.
Jim. Okay. Uncle Ben and Jim, make that into cult check with your spec again.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm getting 3 successes today.
It's a good place to be.
I'm not bad at this roll. I just can't make it.
Okay, so you fail.
Fair enough.
You're like, rats. The cat must have pissed off enough rats that they finally got a union and got together to fight it. Uncle Ben is like, when 2 rats work together, okay. 3 rats work together, when 4 or more rats work in unison, I feel like we have the makings of a Becheloux somewhere in the immediate area.
Rat hosts.
Yep. Yeah. You guys easily defeat 4 rats. So
They are rats. I am just trying to show off to
I shift to Garu now.
Anyways, so you can share with your pack that there has to be a rat host. By immediate, I don't mean like it's on the farm now. Somewhere in the greater vicinity of your life.
With that, David, I would like to actually also read the world's loom.
Okay.
I also have it, and I will attempt to focus my topic on the supernatural.
Okay.
And the other bit of that, of course, is it's only ranged within my glory in miles, so it's within a mile vicinity. So let's go ahead. I need to make sure what the pool is for that. There it is.
Dennis, you just did it. What did you roll?
Is with streetwise glory, I think.
That sounds right. It is
Okay.
definitely wits.
Okay, cool.
Okay. A single success.
All you need. So are you asking about like what threats from the supernatural are coming?
So I'm specifically going to look for what sort of. Let me get back to this book.
It just gives insight into the supernatural in the area.
Right.
Okay.
So looking for anything that's fit out of the ordinary to what I know is already present.
Let's see. So, yep, you already know the general spirit layout of the land. You know the supernaturals that are in your pack. You get the sense that multiple rat hosts are approaching your area, but you get the sense that they're not working towards a specific goal. Do you have animal kin?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to make me like wits animal kin or
Sure.
int animal kin, whichever's higher.
They're the same. So. One success.
It seems, if you didn't know better, and with one success you can't be confident, but you've got a hunch. If you didn't know better, you'd think the rat hosts are fleeing something.
Okay.
And you, at this moment, based on I know what is on your sheet, cannot really fathom what would make them just flee other than maybe other werewolves.
Okay.
Maybe the spider host, but usually the rats and the spiders will fight each other.
Problematic. Okay.
Can I attempt to kind of reverse track the rats to see if they came from anywhere notable?
Sure. I want to say that's with survival, right?
Yep, because it's not an urban environment.
Cool. Go for it.
And I will switch into Little Wolf in order to do the tracking.
Okay.
And with Impossible Spore, that puts me at 4 successes.
Okay. So is anybody else going to follow him? Because it'll take him a bit. Like he'll get to where these rats came from, but it's going to take him a bit. And people are still like eating and stuff.
Since he's sorting it out, I'm going to stick around here in the off chance, of course, if there's any threats that come to us while we're present. Can't leave all of them alone.
Hey, those guys that were here before, they gave you a business card, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, while he's looking into that, I'm gonna just do a little bit of research on whatever company they're supposed to be representing, because I don't really have any good skills that would allow me to help him probably better than he can do himself.
Okay, so
we can actually send the old dog with him, because the old dog can take commands from anyone, due to Patkin, so he can understand any commands given to him.
And he can essentially teamwork with Jeremy on that tracking, right?
Right.
Remind me in 2.0, Jeremy, does teamwork just automatically give you extra die, or?
You roll your skill check and successes become bonus dice for the primary.
Okay, cool. Let me give him his track roll, which is good. Okay. He got 3 successes. So I think that gives you 3 more.
Yeah, just want me to roll 3 more dice?
Okay, go for it.
No successes, unfortunately, so this close to an exceptional.
He tries. Okay, so it will take you a bit to track off. Dennis, do you also go and stay on the farm?
At this point, I'll probably go back to the meal.
Okay, go back to the meal. Okay, so then I will do John first. The meal is fine. Like, you know, people talk about how that was strange, and they ask if the cat's okay, and you know, do you let the cat know that it was scrapping with a rat?
I feel like the cat knows that, but I will let other people know that we have a rat infestation that will probably
Words are hard, Dennis.
About.
You know, okay. The farmhands are like, like the farmhands are mostly made up of the low-skilled humans. So even the ones that are in the know aren't lore savvy. And so they go, rat infestation. Okay, you know, we're going to have to put out like traps. We're going to have to, like, they start planning what they're going to have to do to get the rats gone.
I will also, we'll also throw in some additional things of carry a sidearm, carry a knife.
There may be some rats of unusual size.
Yeah.
Right. Don't let them bite. Don't let them congregate. Don't let them bite you. If you find a nest of them, disengage and tell the rest of the group. We will deal with it as a group.
Fair enough. Okay, John. You're probably just on your cell phone doing a basic search. Do you have any computer?
Do I have any what?
You have computer?
Yeah, 2 dots.
Okay, you can do a wits or int computer check. I'll give you a +1 bonus for having a smartphone. Don't forget to take free equipment bonuses. Like, you can BS in 2.0 being like, This is a clean shirt. I washed it today. +1 to social checks. I put on my deodorant.
I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to break the flow, but you could craft plans, which
Yeah.
would have been relevant back in the.
Yeah.
That's 2 successes.
Okay, cool. So, you were able to figure out, with 2 successes, you were able to figure out that not only are they at face value the business they say to be, but you also find some angry online comments that talk about how they have a history of going to one person to offer to like represent them, going to somebody else that's interested in like buying or taking over the land, and they have a history of working multiple people against each other, and then ultimately letting whoever pays them the most win.
Pretty much exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, with 2 successes on computer, just doing while you're sitting there eating some corn on the cob or eating a pork chop, like doing some checks, you find out pretty much what they expect. They are shady as fuck. They are in for the dollar.
Do they list like a public address?
They have branches in the major Iowa cities. So your like Quad Cities, Cedar Falls, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids. Their headquarters is in Des Moines.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, Jeremy, you and the old hound go for a bit. It's a good hour of tracking. You get to the outskirts of the farm. You've got many, many acres. Where you find a bunch of dead rats and the skin suit they used to be in. Do you have any sort of medicine? And if you don't,
I do actually. Spooky is surprisingly good at knowing anatomy.
Okay, so make either a wits or an int medicine. The dog pulls out his medical degree and assist. No.
I'm assuming the nerve cluster spec doesn't apply.
I'll give it.
Okay then. Just 2 successes.
All right. You only needed 1, because this is pretty obvious. This is one of those, how did they die? It's so obvious that if you failed, everybody laughs at you. So you're looking at the skin and corpse, and you see a clean hole through the middle here, going completely out the back. And make me, so it's clear something burst completely through it, and much bigger than a claw or a sword, bigger than any bullet you've seen. If you had to take a quick guess, you're like a cannonball straight to the chest at point blank, like, and then you smell the wits composure check.
Okay. I would get the perception bonus for this.
You do.
That's really gross, David.
Smelling those perception checks.
Uh, 1 success.
Okay. You gotta get your like nose right into the chest cavity. But something smells utterly foul and not of this earth inside of the cavity.
Just
it is.
not something I have a context for, though.
You have no context. You have never smelled this thing at all. It is smelling it is making you feel slightly sick inside. In ways that humans do when they smell visceral or farm smell. Except those smells are nothing to you. This is something wrong. And it's not the smell of the rotting host body, because you've smelled those before. Whatever shot through this thing left just some residue inside the wound. And you can't quite tell where that residue is and where the blood begins, but it's somewhere in the wound.
Doggy gag.
Yeah, and the old hound's like, "Aw." That thing dogs do when they have something that smells bad on their nose, but they can't get it off.
All right. This is weird enough that I'm probably gonna hurry back.
Okay. Cool. By the time you get back, the meal's wrapped up. The adults are sitting, chatting, sitting under shade, sitting in rocking chairs. The children are chasing each other around or playing games. But you come back, you easily find everyone else.
So we have a thing.
We have a thing.
I don't know what it is.
What did you find?
Oh, so I found the rat host. Well, I found what's left of the rat host. And it's not what's left of the rat host because of me, because I would totally claim that if it was, something else fucked up the rat host. Otherworldly cannon? Like, it looked like it got hit by a cannonball, but the actual stuff of the cannon was, like, not iron smelling, or really anything smelling. It had a smell, but...
And the old hound, which is like more in sync with you guys than a normal dog because it's in the pack, is sitting there like just nodding enthusiastically, like, what he said. Actually, can't like half of you talk to animals?
I can. So I will actually make sure with Beast Talker up.
The hound is telling you what he said. It did some big thing, bigger than claw or bigger than mouth, hole, and it did not smell good. But I don't know what it smelled like, but it wasn't good. Never smelled before.
Otherworldly cannon, huh? I'd like to roll my spec and void engineers.
If only.
Can we actually, like, do we have enough information to be able to roll for a wits occult or into cult, or is it we just literally have no information to work off of?
Your characters, being base XP characters, are relatively new as werewolves.
Right.
Many of you are old as humans, so I might give you, if this was a weird sort of crop I'd never cropped before. Well, I've been a farmer for 50 years. Like, you have not ran into this thing.
Okay. Well, then we need to...
I need to get some fire.
Yes, that would also be important.
I will just give you, that particular rat host, for the purpose of rat host, has survived at this point. Because if enough time passed that 4 of the rats made it all the way to your farm from the edge of your farm and made it all the way to the center, there's other rats that scattered it elsewhere. So that particular host is still alive.
Yeah, still want to burn the remains though. So.
Yeah, because it's on your property. It's just out on the outskirts.
So we'll definitely need to do some additional digging, see what other signs we can find at some point.
Since we only have a couple minutes left,
Right.
and the food wrapped up, do you guys want to go out to it to dispose it? And the three of you can try to see if you know things.
Yeah, we can do that. What time
Sure.
of day are we at this point?
It's like an hour away from evening. Like the indoor lights of the farmhouses have started turning on, but they haven't told the kids to stop playing yet.
All right. Sun is the sun low enough that our gang girlfriend might be available?
We can say you can wait like until the kids get called in and they start shifting to prepping dinner.
Okay.
And you've got enough time. You can basically tell like we've got to go clean up something. We'll be back in time for food. And your gang girlfriend like pops his head up out of the ground underneath the picnic table just to make sure that the people that aren't in the know, like mostly the children, like he's not trying to scare the children. And like when he sees that they've all gone inside, he comes crawling out of the dirt, comes out from underneath the picnic table.
Okay. The idea here being we'll get him and Fisher, if he's willing to stop tending the loci for a moment, to come take a look with us as well. That way he can get enough eyes on it, since none of us know what it is, potentially.
The gangrel, in case you guys haven't heard the description before, the gangrel is clearly of Native American heritage, but he speaks with no accent. He has been embraced for long enough that has gone away. He has, you guys just call him Jacob, and he seems, as far as vampires go, to be nice. He mostly feeds on animals. Like when he gets hungry, he goes to the absolute far edges of your farmland and tries to like grab a goose or a deer. But he pops up, and you can also get Fisher. And so, So you guys go take a walk. Jeremy and the Hound Dog can easily, or I'm sorry, Spooky and the Hound Dog can easily help you find this corpse. First off, everyone that's not Spooky can do a int medicine or a wits medicine if they'd like, to see if they can get more details about the death than a big thing tore through its center, which is not inaccurate. That is accurate. A big thing tore through its center.
I failed. I will go ahead and make that a dramatic failure.
Okay.
Upgrade that.
You're going to have one of those CSI moments where you're like, it was indeed a space cannon. No.
I had a success.
Okay. John?
I do not have any medicine, so I am just going to be like, well, there's a big hole in his chest.
So for those that aren't aware, so John, I know you haven't played a lot of 2.0. Anytime you get a failure that you feel a dramatic failure will not actually like absolutely screw you and will just add this story, you can choose to make it a dramatic failure. Then you just do a tally on your sheet, and at the end of the session you go, I took 4 dramatic failures, I would like 4 extra beats. And beats are how you get XP.
You get negatives for not having the skill?
Minus
Yes.
3.
Minus 3 for not having a mental skill.
Oh,
Mine was
yeah.
the chance die. I was hoping for that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, other than like there's a big hole in his chest.
I'm going to give a check for the gangrel and for the mage, just to see if they get anything better. Okay. Okay. And the gangrel's not exactly a doctor, but they'll roll a die. Okay. The gangrel's like, well, it's dead. Dennis, with 1 success, you're like, okay, something clearly tore through the middle. Like if I didn't know better, it might be a cannonball at point blank. Uncle Ben and James, you're looking at it. You're looking at the blood splatter. You're like, we might be dealing with a new mutation in the rat host. Ones that somehow explode out of their host. This will require further investigation. Fisher.
I was really hoping you would tell us that we didn't know better, and it looks like somebody shot him with a cannonball in the chest.
It would also be.
Clearly, circa early 19th century cannonball is the explanation here.
Clearly.
Fisher looks around at the blood splatter.
Space cannon, so 22nd century, early 19th century cannon.
From the Blood Space War. Fisher looks around, looks at like some blood splatter going this way, gut splatter really going this way. And goes, okay. Something popped up behind this thing while it was running. The tip of the thing that entered it was narrower than the midsection or end. It's very hard to tell. And he's pointing out the guts. He's like, you see, like there, like that, right, that section right there, and he like picks it up. He goes like, this is like, and he puts like two pieces of human back together, and he's like, see, like something small entered here, and as it was entering, it got wider. Seemed to pop out the midsection of this thing, and that's what killed it.
It's Ant-Man.
I mean, it's also a description for a bullet, but
A really weirdly chest-sized changing bullet.
right.
Are there any sign of tracks of anything else nearby?
Nope.
Actually,
I'll give you dozens of tracks of rats fleeing in every single direction.
right. But getting an idea of, since we know what kind of ones we're looking for, I will actually pull out my tracker's lantern.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and activate the fetish
Okay.
for that and see what we can see. For everybody else's benefit, the tracker's lantern is a simple little lamp or torch that blazes with a slightly odd violet light. So it just blazes to life. And where the lantern catches illumination, all hand and footprints made within the last hour light up with a phantasmal shimmer. This will say if anything else other than us were present more recently. Now, of course, we have one, so we know.
Yeah.
But if any other ones potentially were also present.
Yeah. Some of, not all, since this thing probably was killed a little more than an hour ago, some but not all of the rat prints glow. Your prints glow. 2 sets of Spooky and the Hound Dog's prints glow.
Okay.
But nothing else glows.
All right. Which benefits us for me saying this part, which is as far as where all the tracks did go, that we can plainly see disturbances in the path. Is there one area that doesn't have anything glowing that we could further invest?
Nope. The rats ran in every direction. So whatever attacked left no prints on the ground. And as far as the rats were concerned, was not coming from a certain direction. But from what the mage is saying, it attacked from behind. And the dog does sniff in the wound and give the disgusted look.
Is there a wits occult check in the wound I can be making?
You can make a perception check to get more specific detail other than the wound smells bad.
I can do that. 3 successes.
Okay. So with that, you will be able to quickly smell the thing that I described earlier to Spooky. And you'll be able to, even though it's getting dark out, you'll be able to tell where the dark congealing gore and blood and this kind of black ichor meet. Enough that if you wanted, you could take a sample.
Let's take a sample.
Okay, so you pull out like a pen and like get a sample going, and like I'll just say you've got like a plastic bag and you have a sample. And so that is where we will stop today. You have issues with your neighbors. You have a shady real estate company possibly trying to play your neighbors against you. You have Rat Host coming, but they seem to be running from something you have never faced before or have never heard of. That's where we will leave off. I'm going to give everybody a chance to kind of post talk, say what your last thoughts were, and if there's any other place that people can follow you or see you, and then I will wrap things up. So, Jeremy.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm very little online social media presence.
Yeah, that's fair. John.
Yeah, pretty much the same here, for the moment at least.
Okay. Ender.
So as I said, I'm go by Ender Astreus on the internet. You can see me and or other people who I host on my own channel. Like for example, right now my channel is hosting this one. In addition, if you want to reach out to me, you can actually reach out to me at enderastreus@gmail.com. And I also more than happy to interact with people outside of here in various ways. I might eventually have a Twitter. Haven't decided yet. So there we go.
And Dennis.
Hey, Dennis again. Again, I play Jack Quick on the Athens, Ohio Scion stream for Onyx Path. We'll be entering our 2nd season. Jeremy will also be there here in the next couple of weeks, I believe. Mm-hmm. And look forward to interacting with all of you there and then.
Fantastic. So I am David Fuller, the gamer behind the rose. If you enjoyed this and you haven't already, please follow this channel so you will get alerts when we go live again. In mid to late February, I will be adding a Tuesday night game that Jeremy will be in. Roa Ifa, who has been in the chat, is my lovely wife. As she will also be in that game. We are going to start doing Dystopian Rising Evolution. It is going to be a post-apocalyptic road trip from the wasteland's west coast to the east coast. It will be, surprising enough, probably not as scary or serious as this modern day game set in Iowa. If you want to see me run more stuff, I will either next Saturday or the Saturday afterwards. The scheduling gods will announce soon. I will be running season 2 of Scion Athens, Ohio. I will be working with some of my friends and my wife again to get some promos out. If you saw last season's promos, my wife plays Dr. Truth. If you really like interacting with these people, please check out my Patreon that I've linked in the chat. For just $1, you can join any player from any of my games in my Discord and get to know them. For higher tier, you can actually influence the game. I'm purposely not naming the farmhands so that people that choose to bid at the tier where they can name NPCs can start naming the farmhands. If you want to have Farmy McFarmface, we can talk about it. At higher tiers, I will give you polls to let you direct this game. We could do a poll of which player's personal friend is going to get kidnapped. Is it going to be John's? Is it Jeremy's? Is it Ender's? Is it Dennis? We don't know. So yeah, I would love to interact with all of you like that. Otherwise, thank you all for attending. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great rest of your Saturday. Bye.